This is TLC to go.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're zeroing in on a really valuable resource for anyone teaching the health sciences.
That's right. We're talking about the UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center. They've got some great stuff.
They really do. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to explore one particular concept they highlight, experiential learning.
Yeah, and not just explore it, but pull out some, practical tips you can actually use.
Exactly. So the center really grounds its approach in David Kolb's work.
Right, the classic definition, the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience.
Okay, transformation of experience. So it's not just having the experience.
No, absolutely not. It's about what you do with it afterwards, the thinking, the processing. That's the key bit.
And Kolb lays this out in that four-stage cycle, right? The experiential learning cycle.
That's the one. Stage one is the concrete experience.
The doing part. And the UTHSC resource makes a point that this needs to be, well, meaningful, thought-provoking, relevant, and crucially, it should happen before you dump all the theory on the students.
Yes. Let them encounter something first. The center gives some good health science examples like simulations.
Right, maybe a patient interview sim or watching a video of a clinical procedure.
Or lab experiments, case scenarios, even structured debates can work as that initial concrete thing.
Okay, so they have the experience. What's next in the cycle?
Stage two. Reflective observation. This is where the transformation really starts.
So stopping and thinking about what just happened.
Exactly. But it needs guidance. The Teaching and Learning Center materials stress using specific open-ended questions.
Not just did you like it, but more like...
More like, what did you actually observe? What felt challenging? What surprised you? Pushing them to analyze.
To really process it.
Okay.
That makes sense. Then stage three.
Abstract conceptualization. This is where the new ideas, the theories, the concepts come in.
So this is where the faculty steps up, maybe presents a lecture or assigns reading.
It could be faculty, yeah. Or a guest speaker, maybe even insights from the students themselves based on their reflection.
I see.
Or videos, articles, open access materials. The point is linking these new concepts back to that concrete experience they just reflected on.
Ah, so the theory feels relevant because they've already got a hook to hang it on.
Precisely. It connects much better that way.
And the final stage, stage four.
Active experimentation. This is the okay, now what stage.
Applying what they've just conceptualized.
Yes. Taking the new understanding and trying it out, seeing how it works in a new situation.
So maybe tackling a slightly different case study or trying a new technique in the next simulation.
Exactly that. It closes the loop and often leads right into a new concrete experience. It's a cycle.
Right, the cycle. Now, the UTHSC resource also talks about why this is so beneficial, especially in health sciences.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
They mention a study, Meyer and colleagues, from 2020, I think.
Yeah, that one found students using this model got better at, history taking.
History taking, documentation, developing treatment plans, really core clinical skills.
That's pretty compelling evidence for healthcare educators.
It really is. And the benefits seem broader, too. The resource cites other studies linking it to improvements in clinical reasoning,
Problem solving.
clinical judgment, even things like student self-esteem and professional development skills.
So it's not just about the technical skills, but also builds that sort of professional confidence and thinking.
It seems to nurture the whole package, which is what you want in a healthcare professional.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get down to the practical side, the teaching tips the UTHSC resource mentions. For health sciences faculty listening, how can they actually create those good, concrete experiences? Stage one tips.
Well, like we mentioned, simulations are huge in health sciences. Low fidelity, high fidelity, practicing communication, running mock codes, videos showing real procedures or patient interactions. Lab work, obviously, where appropriate.
Case studies seem like a natural fit, too.
Definitely. Rich, detailed case studies, even debates on, say, ethical issues or treatment options, if structured well. The key is active engagement.
Right, not passive watching. Okay, then for stage two, reflective observation. Any specific tips on guiding that reflection effectively?
The big one is those focused, open-ended questions we talked about. Don't just ask what happened, ask why they reacted that way or what assumptions they made.
So probing deeper.
Yeah. And provide some structure. Maybe a short reflection paper, a guided small group discussion, even a structured debriefing session after a simulation.
Using specific prompts, like what's one thing you'd do differently next time based on this experience?
Exactly. Questions like that really push the reflection beyond just description.
Okay. Moving to stage 3, abstract conceptualization. How can faculty best link the theory back to that experience?
Make the links explicit. Say things like, remember in the simulation when X happened, that illustrates the principle of why we're discussing now.
Directly connecting the dots.
Yes. Or ask them to make the connections. How does this theory explain what you observed in the case study? Use their reflections as a launch pad for introducing the concepts.
That sounds much more engaging than just starting with the theory cold.
It usually is.
Yeah.
And finally, stage 4, active experimentation. How do we give students that chance to apply the learning?
Practical tips for that?
Follow-up activities are key. A new simulation building on the first. A more complex case study requiring them to use the concepts just learned.
Maybe designing a small project or experiment.
Could be. Or in a clinical setting, it might mean applying a newly learned assessment technique under supervision. Give them a chance to try it out, test the knowledge.
In a relatively safe space, ideally.
Preferably, yes.
Yeah.
Especially initially. It's about reinforcing the learning through application.
So it really is this dynamic flow, experience, reflect, conceptualize, apply.
That's Kolb's cycle in a nutshell. And the UTHSC resources really emphasize how powerful it can be when intentionally implemented.
It definitely sounds like a student-centered approach that goes beyond just memorizing facts.
It promotes that deeper understanding and the ability to think critically and adapt skills vital for health sciences.
Okay, so wrapping up then, we've taken a dive into experiential learning using the UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center's perspective. We've walked through Kolb's 4 stages.
Concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation.
And highlighted the benefits and some really practical teaching tips for each stage, specifically for you, our listeners in health sciences education.
The takeaway really is that structuring learning around the cycle around experience and reflection can significantly enhance how students learn and develop those crucial professional skills.
So we really encourage you to think about your own courses, your own teaching contexts. Where might you be able to weave in elements of this cycle?
Even starting small, maybe focusing on strengthening the reflection piece after an existing activity can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought on experiential learning.
And if you found this useful, please join us again for future deep dives where we'll continue exploring strategies to enhance teaching and learning in the health sciences.
Thanks for tuning in.